Mr. Greenberg, you were very clear in your written testimony, as you've been in the past public statements, that the problems that led to the downfall of AIG were not of your making. Let me quote a line from your testimony. Quote, "Let me be clear, AIG's business model did not fail, its management did." And I think you, end of quote. And I think you said something very similar to that at least twice already this morning. When you refer to management, are you including yourself in that category?
No, how can I? I'm not in the company, and I haven't been in the company.
So you don't see your role in the company as being a part of its failure. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. So you don't.
Mr. Cummings, when I left the company, it was a healthy company. Its market cap was $170 billion. Its earnings were strong. Its share price was $64 a share. We had no problems. We had good risk management.
Okay.
We controlled the company.
I got you. And I'm convinced that the systemic problems at AIG go far deeper than the mistakes made in the 4 years since you left the company. You note in your written testimony that AIG suffered greatly as a result of losing its AAA rating. I think you just were talking about that a moment ago, which occurred, by the way, immediately after you resigned. What you do not mention, however, is that the company lost that rating as a result of the failures that occurred on your watch. You stepped down on March 14, 2005, and Fitch Rating Service downgraded AIG's credit rating to AA the next day. Do you accept any responsibility at all for the events leading up to that critical moment?
No, I don't, because what was done, there was a restatement that was made by AIG. Most of the items in the restatement have since been proven to be improper or unnecessary and had nothing to do with me whatever.
Well, I think you had a significant role to play, particularly with regards to the problems with the financial products division that has been largely blamed for the downfall of AIG. You note in your written testimony, and I quote, AIG Financial Products reportedly wrote as many credit default swaps on collateralized debt obligations, or CDOs, in the 9 months following my departure as it had written in the entire previous 7 years, end of quote. And I think you said that again today.
Yes, and that's correct.
Clearly that practice was problematic, and it ultimately led to the company's downfall. But what you failed to mention is that a good portion of those risky bets occurred while you were still at the helm of AIG. By the time the firm stopped writing swaps for CDOs that included subprime mortgages, it had nearly $80 billion of these products in its portfolio. How many of those swaps were issued under your leadership?
First of all, Mr. Cummings, as far as I know, there are no losses whatever on the credit default swap. That was reported to the Senate Banking Committee last month by the head of the Thrift Administration. It wasn't losses that brought AIG down, AIG Financial Products. It was the lack of collateral that they had to put up. And the reason they needed more collateral was because they lost their AAA rating.
So how many of those swaps occurred under your leadership?
I can't give you the answer sitting here right now, but whatever.
Would you say $7 billion?
May I finish?
Yeah, I want you to finish, but I want you to give me a straight answer.
Well, I'm trying to, if you let me finish.
All right, I'm listening.
The amount that we wrote was for European banks, their regulatory capital needs. As far as I know, there was never a loss on any of that, number one. Number two, because we were AAA rated, we did not have to put up collateral. So when AIG lost their AAA rating, and they wrote as much in 9 months as we wrote in 7 years, at a lower quality business with multi-sector CDOs, that became a different book of business.